jumping directly into this draft, Guile Esports beat Think Twice. And if you think about it, that means they've also beat Reborn and they beat Oxygen, because Think Twice are the champions of the world as of right now.
Yeah, Think Twice beat Oxygen and Reborn, so therefore Guile just beat them as well. That's how it works?
I just wanted to point that out, by the way, just in case Chad is wondering how impressive this is. Guile Esports has put on a damn good show. Wraith, Fang Mao bans, boom, right off the bat. Guile Esports says, Iggy and Scorch is ours. Shinx, you didn't play the hero well last time. I'm going to show you how to do it. And Guile Esports picks up Iggy and Scorch. Think Twice with the Rampage pick as well. So we're finally going to see a Rampage in the jungle. This may could be offlane, could be Appy Picker playing him offlane this game. We don't know. We don't know yet. But Think Twice picking up the Rampage and the Kwong.
The thing about Think Twice drafts last game is Think Twice, they like being aggressive. They like roaming around. Both of these teams have very similar early game strategies. That's just based off of getting pickoffs with jungler. The mid laner and jungler get a pickoff with maybe a rotation from the support, and then they get an objective off of that. They pretty much almost mirror each other's actions in that sense. But when it came down to the draft, Think Twice had much more of a slower paced draft with Iggy and Bellica. I think the biggest thing Think Twice could do here is cater their draft towards their strength of just early game pickoff potential. And to be honest, I think that's getting a mid laner that isn't Iggy.
I agree. Lieutenant Bellica being picked up. I do. About 12%.
I'm going to celebrate this moment by eating some kale.
Gross. Lieutenant Bellica being picked up for the side of Guile Esports here. We didn't see a Richter ban, so do we see Doc pick up a Richter? And yeah, we do. That's exactly what we see. Doc is going to pick up a Richter here. We're going to most likely see this in the jungle. I do not see Lucer playing this hero in the support role with how well Doc has been playing Richter in the jungle. Taking their time on this next pick up here. Muriel picked up for the side of Think Twice. Do we see them pick up a carry here? I'd like to see... we haven't seen Murdoch at all this weekend. I'd like to see Murdoch for Think Twice. Give them that ability to for their carry to help secure kills across the map. Give them a little bit more farm and the ability to chase and end up... which chasing is not always good, but in competitive play, being able to pick up kills is important. Drongo picked up for the side of Think Twice.
Just inside of this best of three, we've seen all weekend, we've seen pretty much the supports be Steel Bellica, with a couple others sprinkled in between. But all of a sudden, Muriel is now the more prioritized support for this series. We saw it be prioritized for Guile last game, and now here Think Twice is picking up Muriel. They had Steel available. They had other options available to them, but instead they actually had Aurora support available as well. But it's going to be Muriel that they're putting more prioritization into. And is it maybe a denial pick because they saw how much work Lucer gets done with that hero in tandem with the strong team fight play that Guile Esports put on? I'm not entirely sure, but it's just interesting to me that all of a sudden within a single best of three, that prioritization on heroes has completely shifted away.
Aurora and Doc picked up for the side of Guile Esports. Think Twice has got their mid lane pick coming up here. I expect to see most likely a Gideon or a Gadget. Shinx really shines on Gadget, and I'd like to see him pick up that hero for this particular round. Again, Iggy and Scorch Aurora not banned, and Guile Esports picked them both up. It didn't work well for Think Twice. Hopefully Guile Esports can show us that those heroes do work well together. Gadget picked up for Shinx for the side of Think Twice. There's your draft, guys. Guys, this is game number 2. Does Guile Esports take this in two matches, or does Think Twice come back, pick up a win, and take this to a game number 3? We're about to start this match. Shane, I'm excited. Chat, I hope you're hyped. Let's get into this game.
I'm about to sneeze. Hold on.
Bless you, Shane. I totally ruined that sneeze for him. That sucks. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm good. Actually, the moment you said a bless you, it went away. Okay, sorry about that. Natural body functions, it happens. So, the draft of Guile Esports. I'm a little bit concerned.
I don't like
Not because of the Murdoch. I love Murdoch. Murdoch is great. He has a laser. Can't complain about that.
That's the other reason.
Iggy and Scorch Lieutenant Bellica, and Aurora. The only single target CC that reliable single target CC that they have is Lieutenant Bellica's Seismic Assault. Outside of that, it's Richter Hook, Aurora's Ultimate, and that's about it against a Kwang Rampage backed up by a Muriel. Think Twice has a composition where they could just sort of walk at their opponent and take fights at their team, and I'm not sure that Guile Esports has the right tools to deal with that. So I keep an eye on Nerf. Nerf is on Rampage. I expect him to be constantly rotating and constantly looking for pickoffs, at very minimum, forcing people to back off the map.
A failed gank in the mid lane there. They put a lot into trying to get Shinx down. Shinx was able to stand under his, to get away from that gank. Good boulder coming out of Nerf there. Azzybear taking a little sticky bomb to the face. This is going to be a hard lane for Shinx fighting against Azzybear. I expect Azzybear to be hyper aggressive on this hero, which means we need to see a lot of rotation out of Nerf, trying to punish this Iggy pushing down the mid lane here. We've got Regal now playing Aurora. We saw him on Fang. We've seen him on Fang. We've seen him on Kwang. This is the first game we've seen him on Aurora, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be interesting to see how well he plays this hero. Again, with this particular hero, you can be a little bit more aggressive with the amount of escape she has. Being aggressive onto Apostle here. Apostle is going to get under the safety of that tower, and Regal is going to get away.
Regal in the previous game was really aggressive really, really early on. Aurora has a little bit less kill potential, and it's much more difficult to get those kills. Obviously, a hero like Feng Mao or Kwang, their auto attacks are a significant amount of the damage. Regal on Aurora is much more reliant on her ability damage, which, you know, Hoarfrost is actually, it's hard to land it reliable. There's no real receptacle or target indicator for it. You just kind of have to, like, guess and get a feel for it. Even with that being said, if you look at the current situation, Regal is almost bullying away two people.
Shinx is able to secure a kill on Azzy in that mid lane, pushing him back. Search and Destroy utilized really well, plus the utilization of those sticky bombs.
Seek and Destroy. Search and Destroy is a Metallica song.
Seek and Destroy. I've always called it Search and Destroy. Why have you never corrected me in the past? We've been doing this for a year and a half.
I'm pretty sure I correct you about every 5 minutes since we've met each other.
That is a true statement. Talkflit playing the Kwang along.
Actually, no. Seek and Destroy is a Metallica song too. Hold on, let me verify this.
Guys, this is why I don't work well with him.
No, it is Seek and Destroy. You were right. I'm wrong. I apologize.
Constantly trying to correct me.
You were right. I was wrong. For once,
wrong.
I'm telling you that you're right and I was wrong, and you should be like swimming in this moment of happiness.
This is not the first time you've done that. Clearcast is Clearcast going to gank? No, I was going to say Clearcast rotating behind Azzybear in the mid lane to pick up a gank, that sneaky Muriel gank. He is rotating behind Regal though. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a push here. Here comes Nerf. Nerf is going to leap up. She's just going to ice skate away. Nerf doesn't miss boulders. I lied. Nerf just missed that boulder.
A lot of action here on the safe lane for Think Twice, both sides of the field. Nerf rotating over, I think, just to try to give a little bit of reprieval for the safe lane of Think Twice, because Regal's doing a really good job of harassing them down on a hero who doesn't have as nearly much harassment potential as traditional offlane, or maybe not traditional, but other offlane heroes such as Kwang or Feng Mao. So doing a pretty good job thus far. Other side of the field, Talkflit, he's playing a little bit more conservatively, but at the same time, just ensuring that he gets decent farm and is just getting his levels as needed. He's only level 3. Regal's level 5 with more CS, so that's actually really impressive. I've always thought Talkflit was one of the better offlaners in the game, and Regal is starting to just have a significantly better performance in the given matchup.
Yeah. We've seen Regal though this entire weekend. He's really been playing the offlane really effectively. We talk about Talkflit, Ram, Reflect, Shurik put on some good games today, but Regal is newer to our broadcast, and he's really been playing this position well. He's aggressive. He rotates. He's been a major factor in these team fights, but also applying pressure when he needs to. Really strong game sense coming out of Regal. I'm liking his gameplay overall, and really liking Guile Esports this weekend, Shane. For me, they're a team that I've really enjoyed watching, and I can't wait to see more of them in the future.
Ooh, Regal was looking for a kill there. He used the Glacial Charge forward, maybe try to set up The Cryosystem, Edok was right around the corner again. I want to see how Edok performs on Richter this game. It's his 4th or 5th Richter game in a row. And it's all about consistency. He's been pretty consistent. His hooks last game weren't necessarily the best, but even outside of the hooks, he's really put on a great performance on this Richter, which is, if you think about it, it's pretty impressive because Richter is very much so all about his hooks. And even outside of not reliably landing hooks, Edok is still getting work done with him. So
he's
fully understand. Go ahead, Notch. No, it's yours. The stage is yours.
The past few games, he's been more aggressive early. We're not really seeing that aggression. Yes, he's rotating the lanes, but he's just standing. He's just been standing behind fog walls. This is where we finally see him out here looking to pick up a kill. The stun misses. He ends up hooking a siege minion, not the target he was looking for. If I had to assume, definitely not the target he was looking for. That
he just wanted that farm.
So we've seen him be more aggressive in the last few games. This one, he's not having as much success with these rotations.
I think his Edok space bar button is like taped down, because anytime he's moving, he's spamming that space bar button. I feel like there's two type of people on this planet: people who spam jump and people who don't.
That I won't disagree with that. Do you not spam jump when you walk?
I spam jump constantly, even IRL.
Chat, if you spam jump when you walk, 1 in chat if you're a loser, and don't hit 2 in chat.
Why are you gotta alienate our viewer base like that? If you don't jump, that does not mean you're any less of a person.
It's boring not to jump while walking.
Okay, how about this? I have a proposition for you. IRL, you always jump when you walk now.
I'd probably lose weight. I'd probably get some good out of it. Probably get some good out of it.
See? Clearcast has the purple buff. That's not the most threatening thing in the world by any means, and also probably the most invaluable thing I possibly could have said at this given point in time. Ghost gets hit by the tether. Fury of the Heavens is going to snare him up right here. Nerf was waiting for him to bend around the corner, but Ghost was saying, I ain't going over there. I'm heading back to the safety of my own teammate. Edok is there to land the silence. He is level 6, so he has a skewer online, expected to go out. Beautifully done. Right as the seismic assault ended, he landed that skewer to confirm the kill over onto Kwong. Top clit off the map. First real engagement of this match. Only 1 turret being used with the Iggy ultimate. Ghost is narrowly gonna be able to get away right here. Beautifully done right there from Guile Esports.
I mean, they sat in the duration of a Tesla dome. There was a lot of damage coming out. Only the fact that only 1 died, and it was on the side of Think Twice and not Guile Esports is very impressive. Talkflit is the one to fall here. Azzybear put down, like as you said, 1 turret and then pop that ultimate. More, I think, is a hey, run away. There's a lot of fire happening. And just to keep Ghost from dying, and that's exactly what happened based on the positioning of where that was at. We are seeing Regal over here. Again, Apostle and Regal in this lane, they're just going back and forth, bumping of heads. You mentioned it earlier. Aurora doesn't have that kill potential that Feng has. There's more of a setup with having to make sure you're comboing her ability as well. And that's one of the reasons I don't think Apostle has actually died yet, because Regal has to rely on so much. That being said,
she's inside the Silence Cloud. The damage is there. The Hoarfrost. Oh, wow. A Fossil used that ultimate perfectly. If he didn't use that right there, he was going to hit by Hoarfrost and die. So, Caster Curse almost. So close, Notch. So close.
So close. Oh, the long arm of the law misses. It was just a blind shot. They were trying to see if they could pick up that kill. Apostle in the safety of his jungle a little bit up here. Clearcast helping make sure this tower doesn't take too much damage. Talkflit being aggressive onto Ghost and Louis. Again, both of these offlaners playing very far up under the tier 1 tower on the enemy side of the map. I'd love to see a little bit more rotation coming out from Doc, and a little bit more rotation coming out from Nerf, trying to punish these guys for their positioning.
Astral Leap picked up by Regal. We've really only seen that card used by Talkflit on Aurora. We've seen how effective it was on him. I don't know if we've seen it on pretty much picked up by anyone else throughout the duration of this game. But got to see how obviously it's incredibly effective on Aurora, despite the fact that she's already a very mobile hero. Enables her to get cryosystems effectively, and also then use 1 of her 2 abilities to get out safely if deemed necessary. That's actually sort of the same reason why we used to see Teleblink on Gideon. It allowed you to use Teleblink to get yourself in a position of black hole, and then you had the choice of defensively using torn space to get away as well. This game, man, it's been, on both sides, much less aggression from two teams who have gotten to the finals off of aggressive play. And I think it just comes down to the fact that Think Twice has lost a game to a team I don't think they were expecting to lose. And Guile Esports making sure that they don't get a little bit too cocky and making sure they're keeping themselves level-headed.
I really wish Guile Esports would have come out and been a little bit more aggressive. Seeing Doc rotate, but he's nowhere near as successful as he's been in the past couple of matches. They need one of the reasons they won that last game was that aggression. Put Think Twice on the back foot. Think Twice didn't know how to come back from that. And right now you're allowing Think Twice to farm. They're not really worried about these engagements because they haven't been successful. I mean, yes, we've seen a couple kills, but it's nothing like we saw the first game where 11 minutes in, there was already 4 or 5 deaths. Currently, there's only 1 on the side of either team here. So Think Twice is being able to play this game the way they want to play it. Playing it slow, they're playing methodical, they're being able to farm, and they're looking for those engagements. Nerf really hasn't made much of a presence on the map right now, and he's just been farming away. He does have a slight advantage over Doc when it comes to gold and levels. Gold advantage is starting to build up for Guile Esports, 51,000 to 44,000. Nothing that's too big. One team engagement will really swing that in either team's favor. But I want to see more aggression coming out of Guile Esports. Put Think Twice on that back foot.
Tier 1 tower picked up without any sort of response coming out from Think Twice. I think they were waiting for a little bit of a harder of a commitment from Guile with both Nerf and Talkflick hanging out behind that shadow ward, but the ward on that weak side of the jungle completely gave it away, which means they just sort of slowly sieged it down as opposed to going underneath the tower and try to burn it down as quickly as possible. So that one ward, that vision being so very valuable, if you actually take a look at the vision game, Guile has complete lockdown on both sides of the jungle as well as the river buff leading into the strong side of the jungle. And I think that vision is really what granted them the knowledge they needed to take down that tier 1 pretty much completely uncontested.
12 minutes into the game, Raptors... Nerf going to take Raptors? Are we going to see Raptors? Raptors have only really...
What patch is this?
I am not sure.
Nerf gets enraged, immediately going on to Azzybear, trying to get the damage down. They're fighting on top of a Tesla Dome. This is not a winning proposition whatsoever. That's the Think Twice we know. A hard engage, a full commitment. They're going to be able to get the kills, also be able to pick up the Raptors as well. Have to worry about the split pressure being applied here is Guile Esports. They lost a fight, and Talkflick is pushing down the tier 1 tower here on the side of the field. Forced to use the ultimate to get away, but still so much pressure being applied by Think Twice. Every avenue of the map, mid lane, by the Raptors, over in the safe lane as well. Think Twice seem to, at least for now, have their swagger back.
Talkflick is so low. Clearcast doing everything he can to keep him alive. Talkflick somehow manages to get to the safety of his tower after that chase through the jungle. Got out of there with about 47 health. To that safety of the tower. Clearcast making sure he secured that means of getaway. We've got growth totems online, Shane. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 growth totems online. We've got possessed Sprikens online. Stagnant Dominion is online for Iggy. This is going to allow them, once those engagements happen, to really lock down those targets and keep them in the range of his team, because it's basically a friggin' root. It's basically a root when he pops that ultimate on top of Burning Sensation and whatnot. So if you now have that online, Think Twice finally took a solid engagement with Nerf, being a presence in that fight. Showed up, they were able to pick up 2. Didn't get any objectives off of it. But they were able to pick up 2 kills and put them a little bit closer to same gold value.
Around the Orb Prime, Lucier's in a lot of trouble here. More than likely going to get taken out, barring some miracle. That miracle will not come today. Think Twice, 4-man rotation for a support. A pretty hefty investment just for a support player. Is going to be back on the field for 15 seconds here. The Fossil doing a good job of applying pressure against Regal here on the opposite side of the map. But off the heels of that kill, maybe a tier 1 tower push. I don't think they're going to have an ability to do much. 15 minutes, river buffs are going to be spawning. It's a red buff for Nerf. Not what he was looking for. Was probably hoping for a purple buff or a amber buff. Amber yeah, buff. I don't know. The color changed just sort of arbitrarily for no particular reason. The damage over time buff.
You couldn't see it on the map. That's what the patch notes told me.
Nerf, Popsy enraged, zoning out Ghost right now. He's in a lot of trouble. They're doing a heavy commitment to take out the ranged carry here for Guile, but is it enough to keep this team fight going here? Skewer has been used. They've isolated, so doing a good job of the isolation. The Cryosystem going down, takes Talkflick off the map. Clear cast is low as well. I was just about to say, they put so much commitment into taking Ghost off of the field that they grouped up. They were in poor position, and it was punished hard by the ultimate coming out from Regal's Aurora.
Really like this play from them, going for...
Empowered by the Iggy. This Orb Prime is empowered by the Iggy. They would not be able to do this without the Iggy.
Yeah, are they setting up for this? I don't know if they are. They're trying to get Nerf. Nerf is going to get hooked and pulled back in. There's a Aura Frost to keep him locked in place. He doesn't have an ultimate. He is so low. They may be able to pick this up, sitting in the gas cloud and that silence. Apostle rotating back in. He's not going to be able to do anything. Apostle, stay away, friend. Stay away. I don't think with them picking up that kill on Nerf, they're not going to be able to go after the Orb Prime. But still, they picked up another kill. They're going to back off. They're still hanging out around there. Be careful, please, Guile Esports. Don't do it. Don't overcommit.
You sounded like, what was that character's name from Birdcage? Can't remember. That's okay. It's an obscure reference that most people probably won't get.
Williams' character?
No. Robin Williams' husband.
Oh, yes. Okay, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name, but I know.
Yeah. I mean, in this day and age, you have to be careful with 90s references on the internet, man. It's just not. It's not as prevalent as it used to be. Can you believe AOL Instant Messenger is going down?
What was your screen name for AOL?
It was VashTS1268.
Mine was Mastermind4747.
Oh, what is it? Arbitrary numbers, or does it have numbers actually mean something?
They were my jersey in football.
Ah, 1268 is my lucky number, and then half of my lucky number, and then one of the dates of the year I was born.
While we were talking about that, Talkflit is going to get blown up here. Just a solid CC chain coming out of Louis and Doc. Chained him, knocked him up, shot him, bombed him, killed him. Just killed him dead. They are going to be making a push for Orb Prime now because you said the power of Iggy. He's got turrets in place. Fighting into this is a very, very risky situation.
Ghost. I want Ghost just to sit right in the middle of those 4 turrets and be like, "Come at me, bro." They're thinking about it. They're doing a good job of not overcommitting. They're killing the turrets before they go in, but still, it's so risky. Nerf was forced to use Enrage just to keep himself topped off. They do thwart off the Orb Prime attempt, but at the same time, they really didn't get anything going for themselves as well. They're trying to dictate the terms. They're trying to take control of this match, but the power of Iggy is not allowing them to do so.
They just didn't have the damage right there. And the big benefit out of that is, as you said, Iggy's turrets didn't allow Think Twice to engage. They were low. If Think Twice decided to engage there, they could have possibly picked up 1 or 2 kills. They made the correct decision, not get over aggressive. Orb Prime isn't picked up. Nobody dies, but the big thing is Orb Prime wasn't picked up, and Think Twice is going to be able to continue to farm.
Pretty even match thus far. Take a look at the gold, assuming it's correct. Let's see.
I've got 81 to 76.
I have 77 to 69.
Pith, what do you have, buddy? 77 to 69. Perfect. Okay. Popped up on chat there so you guys can see it.
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that the gold lead is for Guile, judging by how this game has been going thus far. But still, it's not that large of an advantage whatsoever. It's certainly in the favor of Guile, but Think Twice still have themselves in the Lucier is in a lot of trouble here. He's trying to keep himself up, but he's going to get chased down. The Sticky Bomb is going to do enough damage to take him off of the field. Every time there's an engagement, if you take a look at the left side of the map, Regal and a Fossil are just like throwing themselves at each other.
There's really not much headway. I mean, yes, Apostle's got the tier 1 tower down, but there's not really much happening in this lane. Regal respecting the Drongo with that silence grenade and whatnot makes it very difficult for him to go in and try to get anything done. Rad rounds popped for Regal. Regal's not going to take a ton of damage. He is just going to back off here. Believe he was going for that ultimate. Unfortunately, it just did not happen due to the believe the gas grenade was popped. I can't see any abilities being cast right now because of the replay bugs that I'm having. So I'm going to try and fix them.
Rampage casually taking the Raptors by himself. No problems here. You can do that. He has the health regen to do so. So I think that's really the only time we see Raptors taken is once there's a point where a hero has hit in a power spike where they can just go take them by themselves. But still, I still think that they should maybe be contended over because you don't want to give free farm away just sort of haphazardly like that. But nonetheless, Nerf is able to get essentially what is about 1,500 gold off of a full Raptor camp. I believe I have those numbers right. The main objective, though, is Orb Prime. We've seen Guile Esports try to take it 3 or 4 different times now. What I like from Guile Esports is that they're not overcommitting from this. They know they have an absurd amount of zone control between the Bellica Void Drone and the Iggy turrets. They can just hang out and do the Orb Prime, but they're not overcommitting to it. And that's what I like the most here, because sometimes we see teams double down on the strength of their draft almost to a fault, and that is not the case here for Guile. They're displaying confidence, but more so just they're not getting ahead of themselves. IDOC in the front line trying to do what he can, but it's actually Shinx who comes in through the fog wall from downtown with the Tesla Dome in the choke point. Huge turnaround here for Think Twice as they are now on the charge. Boulder hits side to IDOC. The Seismic Skull is going to toss him up. He's still alive, but the final swipe coming out from Rampage is going to take him off of the map. Regal uses the Hoarfrost to try to create a little bit of space, but the damage has been done. Think Twice have been waiting for that moment. They've been playing so patient. They were waiting for that Orb Prime pickoff right there. And I think that was just Guile Esports, where, as I said, they were being patient. They went up into that choke point, those stairs leading to the weak side jungle of Think Twice, and got punished hard. Lucer's trying to get a solo kill, maybe trying to get something going, but this may be a devastating mistake coming out here for Guile Esports, who have had good control in game number 1 and even better control in game number 2. They are now doubling down on this commitment. I don't know if that's what they want to do. 4 people down for Guile. The Orb Prime surely to be taken rather, for Think Twice. All they need to do is back up, spend their gold, get cards that they're able to afford, and they're going to be able to take control of this map here. I think Guile just had a long series of mistakes on characteristically.
Big misplay. Right, big misplay. I got to give it up to Shinx in that play. So they had the setup, the turrets set up here in the middle, and IDOC went into the front line. He was trying to go after Clearcast. The rotation came in from Talkflit and Shinx. Shinx was able to, they were able to basically neutralize Azzybear right in the beginning of that fight, and a lot of value out of that Tesla Dome. Just good, solid engagement. I really wish Guile Esports would have just backed off, let that fall, and then set up to defend here. Those staggered deaths, it's not going to hurt them much because they're back alive. What it does is put them at a disadvantage. Nerf in the mid lane with the purple buff. I don't think Azzy realizes it. They're going to be able to just, again, lock down this hero and pick up those kills. Great CC chain right there. The tether into the boulder, into the stagnant dominion of Seek and Destroy. On top of that, you've got a Tesla Dome and a Sticky Bomb. They're able to just pick up those kills. It's basically a route when stagnant dominion is on. It just keeps you locked into place.
Azzybear, it can be so hard to adjust. He's been pretty much playing Gideon almost exclusively. They go from a very mobile hero over to Iggy, who is anything but that. Can be a very hard adjustment. I think that may be the reason as to why we've seen teams struggle with Iggy, even though he's been a very common ban. His play style is so different from other traditional, highly favored mid heroes that it's just a hard transition to make. All the meanwhile, I was explaining that, Think Twice casually taking the mid inhibitor here. I don't think that's much surprise to anyone, considering they have a big power play in front of them. Nerf by himself. Oh no, the Kwang tether is going to keep Ghost in place. Without that from the low ground, Talkflit making the plays, and now also the ranged carry player for Guile is going to be off the map. And that means the opportunity that Think Twice had is going to widen even more, because they have their eye on this left lane inhibitor.
Guile Esports, we've seen Aurora and Iggy banned this entire event. Both times both of those heroes are picked up, a team is losing. Yeah. It happened to Think Twice the last game, and it's happening to Guile Esports this game. Maybe they're prioritizing too much on these bans for these heroes. 2 inhibitors down. Think Twice has total of about 30 seconds here with his power play, because only a 5v4. I don't know if they decide to push this or go after another tier 2 tower here.
Either way, thinking twice or think twice. We have to talk about this. Are they thinking twice, like actively, or have they thought twice and have come to a decision, and that's why they play so well? It's because they've already thought about it twice.
Good question.
I have to talk to Nerf about that.
I'll have to ask him in the next event. Does look like these guys want to go to a game 3 though, Shane. Think Twice is playing
looking more and more likely,
much better. You know, we said earlier the last game Doc had to be the big the linchpin, the key to the success of Guile Esports, and he played a much better game 1 than he is playing right here. He's really been a factor in this particular match. And again, we're just seeing Think Twice, good rotations, good engagements, really shutting down heroes and playing this well.
They have Guile Esports has decent ways of dealing with the constant wave pressure, pretty much in Bellica and Iggy. Aurora, far and away, Aurora's biggest weakness is her lack of wave clear. She pretty much doesn't have wave clear. Even against normal waves, she struggles to clear waves out quickly. Hoarfrost, at best, will only hit like 3 or 4 minions. Right. And that's at best. Normally, you're going to get like 2. So as far as the comeback potential here for Guile, I think it's more on the shoulders for Think Twice to make a mistake than it is for Guile to make a big play. Because even if they take a favorable team fight, unless it's a complete ace, they're going to be wounded. They're going to have to deal with 2 waves pushing into their core, and it's going to be a very minimal amount of opportunity that they have to even the odds here. We've seen it done before. I don't want to say it's not happening. I just want to say the likelihood of it happening right here with the draft that Guile Esports has is pretty low. Rigo goes in, flanks around that. Cryo says, but no, it's the stagnant Dominion. They're all frozen up, but what can they do? Can they come back? Can they bounce back? They're staggered. They're looking like they're a little bit loose right there, but can they get themselves together? I don't know if they're going to be able to. The reversal of fortune is keeping Talklit alive for the time being, but right now it is Think Twice continuing to aggress. Nerf is just swinging those big old claws, but the laser, the long arm of the law coming through here. The gavel has been dropped. Justice has been served, and somehow Guile Esports comes out of that team fight even, but it's the core, it's the damage done by the minions from the 2 inhibitors falling. Azzy Bear and Ghost are trying to do what they can. Actually, oh no! Aurora dies of the creep trying to defend the core. Lucer is doing what he can, but the minions are doing so much damage he has to back up to defend this. And even though the team fight went okay for Guile Esports, it's still falling apart at the seams for him. As he's trying to do what he can as an Iggy, using the turrets, 1v3 to keep him in the dreams of themselves alive here to take this 2-0. Somehow Guile holds on to this match right here, but barely by a thread.
Yeah, the fact that Aurora just died to minions, we don't see that happen often. But trying to defend this tower, we saw a good good engagement coming out. That rotation in the backline chain, he hit 4 people with that ultimate, but you've got Unbroken Spirit online for 2 of them, so they got that hard CC. They end up getting healed from the CC out of that ultimate, which kept them alive, plus the shields coming out from Clear Cast, which also helped keep them alive. Just solid engagement. Think Twice. Think Twice allowed the MVPs to really do what they needed to do, got the core down to 30%. Drongo does fall here. A Fossil does fall. I want to say that's his first death of the game. He's been playing Stardew Valley and just farming it up for the majority of the time.
Is that game worth it on the Switch? I want to buy a Switch just for Stardew Valley.
I would not buy a Switch just for Stardew Valley.
Are there any other good games?
Zelda?
Never heard of it.
We can't have this conversation right now because you're going to trigger me. Orb Prime should be spawning here very soon. Right now, there it is. Boom. Just dropped in. Orb Prime is up. I think we're going to see another push around this and try to set up this. Guile Esports has to get this Orb Prime if they want to take a chance to win.
Think Twice know about it. Gonna try to do what they can. Are they gonna go for the steal? Yuduk is able to get it, so Guile Esports has the Orb Prime online. Look at Nerf. He's chasing down Lucer. He's gonna use the ultimate over all the meanwhile by the Orb Prime pit. A Fossil chasing down Regal. Trying to get a kill. It's not gonna happen though. The snare from the boomerang isn't gonna be enough, but Nerf continuing to pursue Lucer. Can't do the work. Nerf was looking for backdoor. We haven't seen a backdoor rampage in a long time. Normally you could get the black buff and then just backdoor it with the ultimate. No longer is that the case. Still though, Guile Esports has the Orb Prime. What can they hope to accomplish with this, Notch?
Hard push one of these lanes. This is really the only thing I could think. Try and split push. They don't have a great split push here. Lucer maybe, but that's your support. I would love to see them set the lane that still has their inhibitor up, their safe lane, set that lane, and then hard push either mid with the split push in the off lane and try and take down an inhibitor. That's the only thing I think they can do in order to put themselves back.
So even with the Orb Prime, that's still not enough for Guile Esports to feel like they have come back in this game. A core at 30%, down 2 inhibitors, with a composition that really doesn't have a great deal of wave clear. I think, honestly, if Guile Esports has any hope of winning this game, it's within the duration of this Orb Prime Notch. They need to get something done with this. If they don't, then they're just going to slowly exsanguinate by allowing those creep to continually push in. They're going to have to push into one of the lanes that has the inhibitor down to give themselves some breathing room. Lucer relegated to the backline. Regal going in, looking for the cryo system, but quick on the trigger is apostle to get the silence down. Still, the tier 2 tower has gone down, and the ultimate is still online for Regal. So they have to take that into account, and they have to be very, very careful here. Regal has that Astral Leap, also has the Glacial Charge, many means of mobility to try to get a high value ultimate. Going in once again, pulls the trigger, uses it onto 3 people, trying to do what he can here, but the follow-up simply isn't there, and it's actually all the meanwhile, Toplet is able to take out Azzy Bear. So it's a beautiful initiation by Regal, but unfortunately, Think Twice is one step ahead of their opponent of Guile Esports in this here so far. Ghost is trying to shoot that gun of his to try to do what he can, but unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna be enough. A Fossil has one more auto attack to get him, and there it is right there. He uses it to get the kill. This may be the nail in the coffin. Nerf hits the non-existent Edok on my map. He goes down as well, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. With 3 team members down on the side of Guile Esports, only 30% of a core to go down for Think Twice. Up the gut into mid, and we might be seeing a game number 3 here, ladies and gentlemen.
It looks like it. 3 down, 35 seconds. Again, really good team fight. They played this very well. It looks like they are gonna take this match here. Guile Esports unfortunately just lost this in the draft. This is 2 matches back to back where we saw Iggy
and Bellica, yeah,
Aurora in the same team and just not do well, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So it looks like they may lose this match, and it's honestly because of the draft.
Still Think Twice.
Good gameplay coming out of Think Twice there, man.
If Guile Esports looked like they had Think Twice's number in game number 1, but there's a reason that Think Twice won, beat Reborn, beat Team Oxygen, beat Toronto, and won Paragon Exhibition, and we're seeing that right here, right now. Game 3, man, it's the dream. We always want a game number 3, and we're going to be having it.
Yeah, we are. It's a good game number 2 coming out of Think Twice. Who is going to become PCL 10 champions? Find out in the next match, guys. We're going to take a quick break. We'll see you guys in just a minute.